Other stories, hundreds of families in northeastern Kenya are facing the ravages of drought, with reports of livestock dying due to lack of pasture and water. School-going children have also dropped out of schools to help their parents search for pasture and water, as Hamza Yusuf reports.
Of days we have seen and witnessed disturbing images of animals dying or livestock dying as a result of not having enough water and pasture. Area mostly affected are Galmagala, Hulugo, Fafi, Liboy, Balambala, Dadaab and many other parts of northern region or this region, Wajir, Mandera, Marsabit, Isiolo, Turkana, and by extension some coastal counties like Tana River, Kilifi, Kwale. Nearly 2 million Kenyans in 24 counties are facing starvation, which is literally half of the country.
The drought in this region is so serious, it has really impacted on the lives of the people. Animals are dying. If you go from Garissa to Mandera, you will see carcass of animals all over the road. If you go to Ijara, you will see even wild animals dying because of the drought. In fact, buffaloes are dying in many numbers. We thank the government, we thank the president for declaring the drought as a national disaster. We thank the donors and the well-wishers who are helping us. But I would say the Kenya government and the leadership of the pastoral community have never seriously addressed the issue. The drought is cycling. What we are now seeing is just a firefighting. No proper planning has ever been done for the pastoral community. To our leadership in this region, please forget about who is going to be the president of Kenya in 2022. That is not your concern. Look at the lives of the people who have elected you. Help your electors. Some of our leadership are talking of who is going to be the next president of Kenya. But is that a priority? It is not. Priority is the life of the people, the electors who took them to parliament, the electors who made them governors.
Mvua kubwa ile tumepata ni Oktoba, Novemba 2019 ndio tulipata mvua ya kutosha. Kutoka siku hiyo hakuna mvua. Hata ile April 2020 ilikuwa ni kidogo sana. So idadi ya mifugo haisabiki. Mingi zaidi kwa sababu sio tu watu hii location. Kama ingekuwa tu mifugo hii location tungejua idadi. Lakini mifugo hata kutoka Wajia pale inaitwa Gunana yote inategemea hii borehole.
We are more like always a reactive community. We are not proactive. This thing is something that has been with us. The rainfall for the last 2 years in Garissa County and for that matter in Lagdera has been very short of what is expected. What was expected, and we thank God, but for now the situation is dire.
Last month, President Uhuru Kenyatta declared the current situation as national disaster and promised the affected counties comprehensive drought mitigation. But pastoralists from this region are saying they're still waiting both level of government, the county government and national government, to deliver the president's promise.
Tafadhali serikali yetu angalie wananchi vile mnyama hiyo naanza kukusha. Ni mtegemea hapa si shamba, mtegemea hapa ni mnyama. Mnyama hiyo kukusha watu taanza kukula miskini ya misho. Kwa hivyo mina mombi lango ni kuomba serikali yetu ni county na ni national angalie wananchi vile taabu iko hapa.
For example, we leave this thing to the hands of politicians and it will not even help the situation or elevate the problem we are facing. It will even degenerate into more conflict. The government has access to all the people mobile phones. The best thing will have been cash transfers. These cash transfers will have person to person directly helped.
Well, the current situation and the crisis witnessed in the north is said to be compounded by a coronavirus pandemic and previous poor rains.
Worrying situation there from that report by Hamza Yusuf in the north. And I want us now to speak to Abdi Kadir Mohammed, who is the Northeastern Regional Coordinator for the Kenya Red Cross, on the current situation. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us and speaking to us by way of phone. Just let's begin by what is the current situation. We're now seeing that the level of destruction is now has been expanded now to the livestock and animals from the region. What is the situation currently?
Thank you, Linda, for having me here. The situation generally in the entire region is an alarm, moving to worsening trend. So the situation, the picture that we are seeing now looks bleak in the entire region.
When you say worsening, just paint a picture for us. What are we seeing on the ground?
Worsening means
The
situation
carcass of animals all over the...
Yes, go ahead.
Worsening means in our context is now when we see now water, the main source of water in this region are boreholes, water pans, and shallow wells. And when we start seeing some of these water points start drying up, and the level of, the pasture and animal conditions, weakening, that tells you that, it is now worsening. And one other thing that, which is just complicating issues for now, is we have even started witnessing in some parts of the region human-wildlife conflict over these resources, more so the water issue.
What are the numbers? When you look at the number of residents affected in the region, how bad is it? What numbers are we talking about?
What we are talking over now, 500,000 population. So the numbers, are gradually growing day by day, week after week, because this region has 2 rainy seasons. That is March, April, May, and October, November rains. So from the last time, the region missed the October, November rains of last year, 2020, and now you see the 2021. The only opportunity available is now this October, November rains. That is, which according to the weather forecast, the weatherman has already predicted the situation that we are going to have below average rains. That is a depressed rain.
We've seen various interventions from the Kenya Red Cross, from the Kenya government. We are seeing the county governments also come in. What you're saying is this is just a drop in the ocean? It's a bigger problem?
Yeah, true. We can't reach everyone. When you compare the interventions being run and the population affected, it's like now what we're doing is now who is more vulnerable than the other. So we are looking at the level of vulnerability and who is more vulnerable than the other. So for Kenya Red Cross, we are doing some food aid distribution in these affected areas. We also done some cash transfers to some specific counties. So and the rehabilitation of water points, that is strategic goals in Garissa and Wajir for now.
Some of the leaders who've spoken in that particular story by our reporter Hamza Yusuf say what they're experiencing right now and all these interventions are knee-jerk reactions because there seems to be an unending cycle of this year in, year out. Perhaps, and that you work for the Kenya Red Cross and you're in the north, the coordinator in Northeastern, you know what the problems are. What conversations should we be having going forward?
I think one thing that we need to do is the county governments need to adapt and pass the disaster bill in the county level so that this can be factored in the contingency plans or the annual development plan and the CDP. And investing more in early warning, early actions.
Yes, keep going.
Yeah, and investing more in early warning, early actions. And one of the contributing factor to this is the climate change and the recent, desert locusts, which has destroyed the major vegetations in the region.
I don't know whether you'll be able to accurately give an answer to this, but how long do we expect this to go on for? For how long? The drought situation?
I can't give the prediction because this is a matter which is in the hands of God. But according to the water forecast, weather forecast given by the meteorological department, it shows that we are expecting to have below average rainfalls. So that tells you that the situation is likely to spill over to even next year.
What is the biggest concern for the Kenya Red Cross on the ground? You talk about now it's a measure of who's more vulnerable than the other. I don't know how then we measure that. You'll talk to us about that. But what's your biggest concern on the ground right now?
Our biggest concern for now is the needs which are on the ground, which are in terms of wash, that is water and sanitation, food aid where markets are not functioning, cash transfers where there are markets, then livestock supplementary feedings, and nutritional aid support, and some aspect of protection for this affected population.
Right, that is Abdikadir Mohammed, the Red Cross Northeastern Regional Coordinator. Thank you very much for speaking to us. And we are looking at the drought situation in the country. Hundreds of families in northeastern Kenya are facing the ravages of drought. He is giving us an estimation of about 500,000 of the residents being affected in the northeastern region with the drought situation. So it's something we'll continue to keep tabs on, even as we continue to speak to the Kenya Red Cross and just see what are the issues there. And how then do we deal with this unending cycle of drought? Because even the leaders there are quite angry, saying that what the interventions they're seeing from the government are knee-jerk reactions. It's a conversation we'll keep having and keep giving priority here on KTN News. I'd like us to now take our first commercial break here on News Center. A lot more still lined up for you. Remember, a big story on the state of the economy in Mombasa County. A lot of concern among the residents on the status of the economy. I'll be speaking to Mvita, Member of Parliament, Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir, Kotu boss Francis Atwoli is also in Mombasa.